So you said you worked in retail?
Yes, I've worked in retail for 36 years for a supercenter. Started out in the Jackson area for a couple of years, and then I went to the Okemos area, and then now I'm in the Mason area.
Mm-hmm.
I've done several things for the store, for the supercenter I work for. I've also held several roles working for them. I was a remodel coordinator. I've been a toy department team leader. I have been a replenishment team leader. I rolled out the planogram process for the store. With that, there's a lot of change in Meijer's. There's always new and improved things coming out, and with retail, you always have to change in order to keep ahead of your competitors in the marketplace. So with change, there's always change for team members, change for management, change for specialists. We always are ever changing, so change isn't always an easy thing for people to deal with because they get comfortable in their position and the hours that they work. But when you change, you're changing for the better of the company, but it isn't always beneficial to the team member.
Yeah.
So you have to implement the change and try to be positive about it, even though sometimes it isn't always a positive thing to talk about. So people find it negative sometimes, and when we go to fill positions now and restructure, we poll team members to see where their interests lie. If you have a spot on your team, you have to post it, especially if it's a full-time position. Being a union shop, you have to be able to offer it to the highest senior person that has an interest in that area. So when you tend to post positions, people bid on them, but people on your team want the position over another person in another area. It doesn't always work so well because you bring in people that have more seniority, are full-time, and you have people on your team that are part-time that have earned the full-time status, but you can't give it to them because you had to poll the store, which is only fair to that full-time team member that has seniority because maybe they want to better themselves, or maybe it is a better position or better hours than what they're working. But you have people on your team that don't want to put forth the effort to help train them.
It sounds like it puts it sounds like it might put stress on you as a manager, having people leave from your team and maybe gaining new people as well. So
yeah, we tend to, you tend to try to make it a positive thing for your team members, and you try to still boost their morale by praising them. If they wanted a day off, or you work with them on their scheduling, if they have a special occasion they want to attend, or a vacation that's important to them. But hiring is always an issue with a retail store also because, it is low pay, it isn't very high pay, trying to keep people and retain them. And sometimes it's a second job for people, so they work around their other job. So we have people that are educators that come in and work in the evenings because they want extra money. We have some people that work third shift that are teachers' aides that go and work with kids after working third. And, but they make it work for them and their family. For me, I worked early hours. I used to work swing shift. I have 4 kids. My kids were involved in sports, band, outside activities out of school that as a parent you want to attend, so you try to work the hours so it works with your family life. Well, I used to work a swing shift, work second shift, third shift, first shift. Now I pretty much work first shift except for one shift a week. I work on overnight, which is on the weekend. But I can tend to get to all my kids' functions, sporting events. However, most of them are now graduated out of high school and are now attending college. But I tend to like to go to their homecoming games at their colleges. And, but I understand. I was in the situation where my family was important to me, and my attending my kids' functions was important. So I try to work with people, put myself in their shoes. I know I have people that have younger kids that would like to attend their kids' functions. I have some that like to work third on the weekend because their son plays baseball or soccer or football on the weekends. And I understand that because I had kids that played volleyball tournaments, soccer tournaments, and that on the weekend. So I worked overnight too. But it worked with me. But like when we tend to hire cashiers up front, it's difficult because we hire them they're flexible usually, but you give them a 4 or 5 hour shift and then they make plans after work or they have to pick up their kids from school. And then we hold them over for 8 hour shift, but we only have to give them an hour notice so they can make arrangements to pick up their kids or somebody to watch their kids if that's the case. And it's not always easy to fill that position because nobody wants to be held over, especially if they have plans.
It sounds like you try to be accommodating to those who do have children and it might not be their first job and they still are trying to make extra money. It sounds like you are trying to help them out, but it can be hard being in your position as well, knowing that you have cashiers that might have an extended shift and you can't get them out of work at a certain time, but it sounds like you try as hard as you can to.
Yeah, well, some people like it because they like the money. There's people that are single, there's people that have families that will work every holiday, so they get their holiday pay and they get the time and a half for working actually on the holiday plus their holiday pay. So, I mean, you do get people that want to work, but then you get other people that just want to put in as minimal time as possible. And sometimes we tend to move people around if, one department, their labor gets cut, and their team members only get like 15 hours, they seek other areas and we take them on and we fill their hours if we can. Because especially if they're a good team member, you want to keep them on board and utilize them where you can. Because you don't want to turn them over and have them find another job, because most people can't live on part-time minimum wage jobs. So I mean, they're looking for whatever they can. So but other areas of the store, it's easier. Like the planogram area, they work Monday through Friday usually. They have a couple of people that work on the weekends and their hours are steady. For people that want their evenings free, that works well. But it's hard to come by some of those jobs usually. Most of the people get hired in the evening and have to work flexible hours or work third shift stocking. And that becomes old after a while, working every night third shift. So
it sounds like you sometimes have a hard time keeping employees, and it's hard for you as a manager to keep hiring as well and then see them walk out the door 2 weeks later. It sounds like it can put you in a tough position.
Yeah, it's hard because training, you put a lot of time into training people, and I don't always just train team members. I train managers from other stores come through me, so you spend a lot of time training people to turn them over. That is, it's expensive for the company for one, and it's a waste of time sometimes if you can't retain the people, because if you can retain them and they can just train your new people, which works well. I have a good team right now, so I can utilize any of them, so it gives me time to train these other team leaders coming through. So
Yeah.
But that's what makes it hard when when your people are leaving
after you have just
and then
trained them for...
and then you have inventories coming up, and I have like deadlines on my team to meet. I have physical inventories I'm in charge of, pricing, ad setting. They all have a deadline. You have to have things done at a certain time, and if you don't have the team members, you can't get them done. So we also take care of all the back stock from the stocking team. We have to arrange it in the back room by aisle location, and that's one of my team's responsibilities. So there's a lot of jobs that are independently done by my team, so they have to be well trained. You can't just turn them loose and expect them to do everything unless they're well trained. So
it sounds like you have to put a lot of time and effort into training your people, and it's very hard for you when you put all that time and effort and you see them walk out. But if they're well trained and they stick around, it sounds like it does benefit you and helps you out and gives you more time to do other things. So,
it does.
But thank you for your time today.